Sending money back to your relatives back in Africa in this economy does not make sense.
Have family members back in your country, you don't need to feel guilty about not sending them money.
Sending money back to your relatives back in Africa in this economy does not make sense. We are struggling the same way you guys are. Have you not seen the rise of living, bro? I can't afford it. So you man asking me to send you money back to Ghana.
95% of my family lives in Mexico, and whenever we go, we do take little gifts for most of them. My grandma had 19 kids, so it's a huge family. I have so many cousins, nephews, nieces, etc. But, you know, whenever we go, we make an effort to buy them little things, not expensive because we cannot afford to buy expensive things for everyone, but they do get a regalito. However, a while ago, they started requesting like very specific things, like expensive sneakers. I'm talking about like $300 sneakers that I didn't even know existed because I cannot afford them, so I don't even, look out for them. And like expensive cameras and perfumes and just like brand name stuff that, like I said, I cannot even afford. And then they will tell you, oh, can you please get me this and I will pay you back when you bring it. I think they were just expecting us to be like, oh no, here's your $300 pair of sneakers. You don't owe me anything. It's a gift. But like, dude, that was a lot of money. So my mom and I started actually asking them for the money, right? So we'll be like, oh, here's your encargo. It was this much money. This is how much it is in pesos. Problem solved. We don't get any of those requests anymore.
One thing that really shocks me is when I hear children of immigrants insisting that they're never going to send money back home. And then
I feel like I have a lot to say on this topic. As somebody who's lived in both a third world country and a first world country and experienced both realities, I am very sorry to say I will not be one of those people sending my money back home. I say this to say this. People back home feel a certain level of entitlement to your money because you live in this country. But little do they know that even living in this country is still a hard job. And I say this because I've seen the trauma and the stress that my mum has gone through of trying to make ends meet here and then make ends meet back at home. And then even people back at home are still saying it's not enough. I feel like if there's any way in which I am going to supply finances to people back home is by providing and teaching financial freedom. Me providing you money doesn't benefit you in the long run, because at the end of the day, God forbid anything happens to me, your cash flow is gone. Your cash cow, gone. You have no money. The way in which I would provide support is by offering certain things like paying for education, if it's starting a business, all these things that will help you financially in the long term, because providing you $200 now is only going to help you until the end of the month. And child, living in Zimbabwe, I have seen these people is greedy, and I'm sorry to say this, but they are greedy. They tell you that I don't have much money, but they'll still feel, you live in England, surely you have. No, it's hard here too. It's not easy. I don't want to speak that everybody is ungrateful, but for my experience and the experience that my mom has gone through, it has honestly been something that I've said to myself.
If my family from Mexico sees this, I just want you to know, delete my number. Because you are not getting anything from me. I'm struggling myself. Don't ask me for money. Don't ask me to send you a clothes. Okay? Nothing. Just because I'm in the United States doesn't mean I'm not struggling or anything. One time, my family member had the audacity to be like, you could afford it. I heard you had 2 jobs. Yeah, bitch, because I was in college and I had to pay for it out of pocket. You should have just stopped having kids. I'm sorry. Like, it sounds really mean, but you had like 5. And you knew your economic struggle. Why do you keep having more kids? That's not my responsibility to take care of your kids. That's yours. Don't come at me asking me about, oh, can I borrow? No borrowing.
So I'm not a Latina, but I no longer feel guilty about sending my family back in Nigeria money. They have tried to sabotage my life. They tried to sabotage my father's life, but I'm not the type of person that will look back on past mistakes and be like, oh, I'm just going to forget about it. I decided to give them a chance. And basically, they were plotting and planning behind my back. The way how I know is because in 2021, I got into a life-changing car accident. I nearly died. And in the process, my daughter that I was carrying at the time died. And guess what? When my auntie, whose granddaughter and grandson I had sent money to pay for hospital bills for, called me, the only thing that she could do is wish me ill. So At the end of the day, I take care of me. I take care of my family. When my grandmother in Nigeria was alive, I did try my best to honor her and give her her flowers, but that was the extent of my generosity. Another thing too is that when my dad came from Nigeria in 1980, they took advantage of him. He purchased many lands, properties. He built a hospital. He built a school. And at the end of the day, they squandered all of his land, all of his property, and any savings and finances that he had in Nigeria. Imagine land of that time that only cost a couple thousand now going for I guess 5 figures in US dollars now. So at the end of the day, I don't feel sorry for not sending them money. I don't feel guilty. I mean, anybody that's coming from behind me and want to harm me, then I have to protect myself and my family. And I love what this auntie is doing. Like, she's tried. Nobody can blame her.
Now, oh, you're not my sibling. No sibling should do this to anybody.
So this story really sucks. This lady's been living in the US for 40 years. She's from Nigeria, has been sending money to her brother to build her house. And she came home to pretty much nothing, right? Now, this kind of happened in my family, except for the fact that she didn't come home to nothing, but she came to a full house built beautifully. But here's the thing. My dad was the one building the house for my aunt who lives in America from Zambia. But what he did was he built the house. Beautiful, nice, wonderful. But he made sure he put everything in his name. Not a single thing for that house is in her name. She paid for it, she had it built, and everything is in his name. So she can't even go and claim it. She has to show that she sent all this money. You really can't trust people. You really can't trust people nowadays, and it really be your own ones. It's crazy out here.
Yes, my friend Dennis. Good morning, good morning. As you're talking niko site.
Rudi ni nyuma.
Nimekwambia mjango ni 24/7.
Hiyo roli nimesema msiiweke hapo.
Leta ni nako 9. Wewe kitu tunakosa ni deposit tumeka nayo.
Ni nini mnafanya fast flow nyinyi?
Ni sawa deposit tumetuma.
I hope they use this for something good.
You don't know what is going on. We are making money, you are sleeping. You don't know what is going on, eh? We are making money. Gun shit, man. Gun shit, man. You don't know what is going on. You don't know what is going on. Talk to me nice.
So, I woke up to the realization that I need to stop sending all of my money to Africa. And here's why. Number one, it doesn't help with the narrative that if you're in America, you're rich. If you're in America, life is comfortable. You have everything you need. Just a few days ago, I had 2 of my cousins reach out to me. I was like, oh, I need only $400. Only $400. And last year, I visited home. And to my surprise, almost all my uncles and aunties had houses. Okay, these are the same people when you speak to them over the phone, they're gonna tell you the economy is hard, there's no money, this, that, and the other. And every little problem, like I literally can't sit for a minute without somebody reaching out to me and asking for money. I'm talking about friends and family alike. And being the person that I am, all of my savings, I just give it out, okay? And then I'm like, no, that's not a good thing. I need to start looking out for me. I need to start investing in myself, because as it stands right now, I don't even have property in my name. And here I am pouring out so much money into other people. And I'm like, well, they do the same thing for me when I'm in need. And maybe there's going to be a time that they're not even going to be in a better position to assist me. And so this year moving forward is for me. I'm not saying I'm not going to help, but I would invest in myself, and I'll make sure that I am comfortable, okay? Even before I think about helping other people, I'll make sure that I am equally comfortable and not just throw money around and have people think that, you know, hey, she's got money and she's just, you know, willing to spend. No, that's not what it is.
Family members back in your country, you don't need to feel guilty about not sending them money.
There were 2 things that stopped me from sending any more help at a request. The first time was an eye-opener when I saw somebody take out a loan for more than 50,000 pesos for a party. It was not even a big party. It was like a regular birthday party. And then they were gonna have to pay for it. And then guess what? They're asking for money to help pay back that loan. The second thing, it doesn't depend on where you live. It depends on the person that you are. When I took some gifts to someone and they looked at them like they were icky, you know, they were like, esto viene a Estados Unidos. This person was expecting like Louis Vuitton, Gucci. You know, after that, I was like, You do not have to send money. If you find it in your heart, if you have it extra, you can, because life is very hard. Situation is hard. But if it's like a mutual thing, a mutual back and forth relationship, love, care, and support, go ahead. If it's just todo pa acá, todo pa acá, todo pa acá, y nada pa allá, don't do it. All you're going to do is tire yourself out, and it's going to slow your financial goals for the future, and it's going to make you a miserable person.
So in my last video where I said I'm never sending money to Africa again, you guys had a lot of questions. In the video, I mentioned that when I got there, after like 20 years, I got there, I had to put gas in the car every single time I wanted to go somewhere. I had to give like $500 for me and my kids to eat because they asked me to contribute to that. If I wanted water, we had to pay for our own water. If they did something for us, we had to pay for it. Despite us like sending money over the years and helping and medical bills and so many things, people had questions. They were like, what the heck? I'm going to answer something. So one of the questions was, how did they respond when you say you're not sending money or when you stop sending money? The same thing, like you a dunka, they meaning you're a cursed child. You're not going to get no blessing. Nothing good is ever going to come to your life. Like you're mean, you're selfish, watch. You know, you're going to like you're going to fail. Like misery is going to come to you. Same stuff. Which is normal. I mean, listen, that's normal. That makes me laugh. That's actually whatever. Someone else asked, maybe they really couldn't afford, you know, to feed you guys or whatever. Maybe that's why. No. I don't want to get too personal, but no, they can afford it because I know for sure they make $3,000 a month in that house. For sure. 100%. Is the fact living beyond your means because you have family in Europe and America and France and whatever. That's why you have to live a particular lifestyle. But otherwise, yes, they easily make $3,000 a month. They can afford to host us for 3 weeks without us having to give a dime. And you know, the audacity was that when I was leaving, right, they were like, oh, you're not going to like leave us anything. You're not going to give us anything. Like the day I was leaving with my suitcase and everything. And look, I have all this money, right? I put my money in my bag and I said, I'm taking it to the US. All this. These are $20 bills. I have all this money that I could have easily, like, if this thing would have never happened, I probably would have given it away to different people. Probably give everybody $100 a piece. But because of that, I was like, no. Look, the audacity to ask after all this, after. If you buy me water, I have to give you money back. If you buy my kids popsicle, I have to give you money back. And then when I'm leaving, you want to ask me, oh, you're not going to give us anything? You're not going to leave us anything? I took my thing. I still have it. I even forgot that I had it. I brought my money back with me. Hell no. And lastly, you know what? I really don't like to talk about stuff like this, right? Because I have 6 siblings. And I also feel like as much as I like to talk about things, I have to respect their privacy. But what triggered me was when I watched that young lady video of her saying she's not sending money back home and people were coming at her. And it just triggered me. That's one. Number 2, you guys know I'm heavy on the Afghan, what's going on, like the soccer. And I wanted to go to Afghan. I only work 4 days a month here. I work PRN. And I already work my hours. So I have time off. I wanted to go to Afghan. I told these people that I was coming, right? I wanted to watch the Afghan. I'm coming, right? And they're like, why would you come? Why you can't just send us that money instead of wasting it to come watch the Afghan? And some people might be like, yeah, just girl, I work. If I want to go watch the Afghan and make me happy, I should be able to do that. But it's like, why are you coming to watch the Afghan if you could just send us this money? I was like, because I want to watch the Afghan. That didn't work, right? And then it became, okay, well, if you come, we're not going to be able to pick you up from the airport because the car is broken. Unless you send me $1,000. Unless you send us $1,000 to fix the car so we could pick you up at the airport, we won't be able to pick you up. Yeah, the audacity. And like, and somebody else was like, well, why don't you have a conversation with them? Let me tell you something. In an African household, you don't talk back. You could be 50. You don't talk back. If you talk back or you defend yourself,
it's basically like you're insulting them. It's basically like you basically beat them up at this point. So like defending yourself is not even worth it because it's gonna become a fight. It's gonna become like more problematic. So you just take it and just smile. I mean, that's just the way it is. So unfortunately, it's no like sitting down, talking about it, talking back. It's not even worth it. It's not even gonna click in. So with that being said, I'm really not gonna answer anything because I'm gonna be like a faucet spilling tea, and I'm gonna have to start walking around with bodyguards, which is not necessary. So it baffles me. It baffles me just as much as it baffles you guys to know that legit, like. And the weird thing is, like, I have Nigerian friends and Ghanaian friends who was like, when I was telling them this, they was like, yo, I be going home. I go back home with nothing in my pocket. I literally just come home and it's my family house.
No, because why did my mom and my stepdad buy a house in Mexico, in Palomas, Mexico, and let my uncle live in it? And he got his little girlfriend over there, and they forged his signature and her signature, and then they sold the house. And the only way my mom found out is because she went to Palomas, and when she went to her house, there was new people living in it, and they told her that they bought it off of a lady named Belem, and that's her name, and off of my stepdad's name. And she's like, no, that's impossible. Like, this is my house, and I didn't sell it. And turns out, yeah, they bought the house, but it wasn't for my mom. It was from my uncle and his little girlfriend. And so when my mom, well, obviously my mom and my stepdad were really mad, and my grandma was the only thing that was keeping them from pressing charges, because that was her favorite son. That was her favorite son, and my mom didn't want to upset her by pressing charges. But yeah, we lost the house, and now we don't have a house in Mexico. And he did the same. My uncle ended up doing the same thing to my grandparents. He made them sell their house. So now he don't have a house. So yeah, stop sending money over there, because nothing's getting done. And if stuff is getting done, it's half-ass done. And yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Most of us are no longer going to be sending money back home, and she's basically saying how we're speaking from a point.
When it comes to this topic, this is the issue that I think affects a lot of immigrant parents, African parents, whatever you want to call it. They all lack this simple principle of setting boundaries with people, even their family members. They literally have the hardest time saying no to people when they know they don't want to do shit. Now, I'm not saying that them sending money back home is wrong. That's not what I'm saying. I commend them for doing that. But at a certain point, there's a certain boundary you have to set with these people, bro. You can't set this type of dynamic where you're making them expect you to send them money to live their whole lives, and then you're fucked years later because they're expecting that they're living off of you. And when you stop sending them money, this resentment from their side is gonna come to you. Then this money that you're not giving to your family back here, they're resenting you for it. So that's a double homicide.
I'm gonna apologize in advance because I know some people are not gonna like what I have to say, but I feel like this whole like send money back home, like Halis, Africa, Senegal, wherever you're sending money to, like a lot of times, like it's a scheme. And hear me out before you get upset, before you get offended, hear me out. Baska, I feel like it's one thing if you're asking for money because you actually need things, because you cannot meet some of your basic needs. Like, that's understandable. Man, they're taking advantage of the situation, and it's just like, when are we gonna have this conversation? Baska, so often I see like they are literally living paycheck to paycheck, busting their butts. And then you got like family members, extended family members, fake aunties and uncles. Ñëpp di ñëw si yow di la wax seen problème parce que yow yaa nekk exterior, like, you know, you the one that have the opportunity, and so you need to make sure that the family is taken care of. And it's like, I don't know if people realize that's survivor's remorse that they're putting on you, and it's like, that's not okay. Like, that's not cool. Because people be asking you for things, not because they need them, but because they want to flex, because they want to live fake life. Or they want to go to this person's wedding and they want to show out. And it's just like, my guy, I am living paycheck to paycheck. Like for this and that. Like, be for real. Like, priorities, not a thing. Respectfully, like sometimes I might like some both, but like what reality are they living in where they just feel like the money grows on trees? The new neck when you feel gay by day.
Have family members back in your country. You don't need to feel guilty about not sending them money.